So while working on this week's intro, I found an old audition that is very relevant to what we're going to be discussing in this video. So enjoy.
I'm going to get lost.
No, don't.
I'm sorry, Teddy, I must.
Pat, don't, please.
It's much better, Teddy. Hello?
Do you want to
Hello?
get me kicked out of the Air Force?
What do you mean?
Put the receiver down. Come here. They say a man should never have any secrets from his wife, don't they?
Yes? Tell me.
You know what's wrong with me? Funk. Just plain old garden. Ordinary funk.
Don't be absurd.
If a doctor were to examine me now, it'd be simply this. Here's a bloke who doesn't like flying.
But what about this?
Oh, he'll say the bloke has a DFC. He must have been alright once. But then he asked me, how many ops have you run, my boy? Then I say, 17, sir. Then he write down, bloke, probably couldn't take it. Packed in after 17 trips. Hello, I am Andre Correa, and this is Andre Correa Now, a show about the art of filmmaking, the craft behind it, and the technologies that make it all possible. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of the most important things when it comes to your film project: casting. Let me just give a little bit of a disclaimer before I start. This video is not going to be talking about any kind of social media based casting. We're not going to be talking about the politics of casting or getting a celebrity to be in your film in order to get like pre-sales or distribution or anything like that. We're going to only be talking about the mechanics of how to set up a casting call in an independent movie way, so that, you know, if you don't have the money to hire a casting director, and you are a starting out producer or starting out director, or, you know, I never hired a casting agent for any of the things I produced. I usually do the casting myself. So the advice that I'm going to be giving today are based on my experience, my mistakes, things I learned over the years, doing casting. One of the first things you're going to have to decide in your project is whether you're going to go with SAG or Nonunion. The Screen Actors Guild requires you to be a signatory producer if you're going to cast or even audition any SAG actors. The process itself is free. You go to the SAG-AFTRA website and you just register, but you are required to follow the regulations that SAG has in their contracts. So you have to weigh the options there. The good thing is that when you are working with SAG actors, most of the time you're gonna have people who have more experience, they've been in the industry longer. You know, oftentimes I found when I was working with SAG actors that they were well prepared, they were very professional. So not to say that non-union actors are not professional, or they don't come prepared. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there's a higher amount of better prepared professional folks on the SAG side. So if you're in a metropolitan area, there are two websites that I recommend. One of them, it's LA Casting, and the other one is backstage.com. I live in LA, so I often use LA Casting. It's free to post as a casting director, as a director, or a producer. It works really well because you can set up a description of the project, the roles that you want. You can upload sides. You can specify pays. age, gender, race, all this stuff, which I don't particularly like. You can also specify that the person can be of any race. So there's that. But, and I'll tell you why I don't like that. I don't like that because oftentimes, especially as an independent director or producer, you don't have as much, like you're not gonna get a million hits. You're gonna get a good amount, but you're not gonna get a lot. And I don't necessarily want to narrow the role to a particular race if I can help it. I'll give an example. When I did Help Wanted, the movie that I shot, it's gonna be almost 2 years now. I wrote the character of my sister in the film, and it was just, you know, my sister. She had to kind of look like me, you know, had to look like you're related. And, you know, I went through the audition process, and we came down to 3 choices. And the 3 choices could not be more different than from each other, right? Like one of them was blonde, the other one was half Asian, and the other one was a trans woman. And, you know, they're all great. We end up going with Carolina, who was a trans woman, because she was, to me, she knew the pain of the character better. Now, if we had said we're just gonna cast this one particular gender, one particular role, race, we would have automatically disqualified her. And that would have been very unfortunate because her performance was great and she was great to work with. So I don't like to narrow down things too much when it comes to race and things like that, because sometimes you'll luck out when somebody who's just perfect for the role walks in and it's better than what you thought. I guess what I'm saying is don't put everything in a box. Keep your mind open to possibilities because some of the possibilities may be great. The other low-cost option that you have is to go into one of the acting schools, a local acting school. You could go into a university that has a drama department, or even a high school if you're casting younger people. I would just say make sure they get permission from the teacher or from the school department or whatever. You go through the proper channels, especially if you're going to be working with kids. That's a whole other video by itself, but make sure you get permission if you're going to go into a school. I never cast for background talent before, but when I started, I actually did background work, and I worked with this company called Central Casting, and they have an LA branch and they have a New York branch. So in the major metropolitan areas, it should be okay. I think they charge a fee to get the background workers, and you also have to pay them. I don't think they do it for free most of the time. But if you could set up an LA casting or a backstage for background talent. I don't see that working really well. Usually background wants to get paid because they don't have any lines. They really don't get any credit. The only upside for them is to get a small check at the end of the day. So it's understandable that they would want to get paid for that. When it comes to casting in Hollywood, there are 3 locations that comes to mind. One of them is the Space Station in Hollywood. It's a space where you can go online and select the studio that you want. You pay an hourly rate. It's not bad. And you can have the studio space for as long as you want. People have a professional place to go to, and there's like a lobby where they can sit and go over sides and that kind of stuff. The other place is Hollywood Film and Cast, or Cast and Film. I think Hollywood Cast and Film on Santa Monica Boulevard. This place is free for casting directors. The catch, it's not really a catch, it's actually a pretty nice feature. They have a pool of actors that belong to that studio. And in addition to the actors that you bring from the outside, they require you to pick some or select some of their actors. So make the casting call available in their system so that their actors get a chance to audition for the film, which actually is really nice. And they don't require you to do anything else. You don't even have to give feedback, I believe. It's just post the casting call on their website, get a free space, also a very nice space that's professional where people can sit and go over sides and things like that. Believe they provide you with a camera, or you can bring your own. But these two places I can highly recommend. Both places are pretty professional. The third place, however, you should never ever use. And this third place is your house. Don't ever bring anyone in any casting scenario to your house. That is the worst idea ever. Don't ever bring anybody to your house. If you happen to live in a building and you're doing callbacks that has one of those nice offices downstairs where you can rent it out for the day, and you know it's like a business center, okay, I've done that before, but don't bring people into your apartment. Don't bring people into your home. It just you're asking for trouble. It just screams not being professional, and it sets the whole actor-director relationship in a really bad note. Don't bring people to your house. I'm a big believer that respect is something that you earn. When an actor is in the casting office, give them your attention. I mean, here's a person who learned the lines, who wants to be in your project, who drove through LA traffic to get to another place other than your house. So give them your attention. It's the least you can do, and it will serve you really well, because sometimes, even though there's a camera on, and there's a camera in the room, you know, the camera's not calibrated. You don't have lights. You don't have anything. You're lucky if the guy who's manning the camera knows how to use it. So you're not really gonna get the feel of what the actor can do if you're not paying attention. And by you being present with them, believe me, if I'm an actor, I know if I'm able to engage with the reader or somebody in casting, it makes me more excited. It makes me be in the project more. It makes me respect them more. And again, when you're doing indie films, oftentimes you're not giving people money. They want to work with you because they like your script and they like you. And that's really important. And I would say being present with the actor in the room is going to be one of the most valuable things you can do to build that director-actor relationship, which is very important, and B, to make a good name for yourself in the industry. I like to have everyone who leaves one of my auditions with some kind of takeaway. Back in the day when I used to do sales, if I didn't close the sale, or if somebody on my staff didn't close the sale, I wanted them to give a takeaway. And the takeaway could be just a sheet that said the features of the product, what it does, the price, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. In this situation, I think it would be important that an actor left the audition with a sheet of paper that basically specified dates, times, what's required of them, if they are going to be required to be doing rehearsals, that sort of thing. And by the way, rehearsals is different than an audition. You could rehearse with somebody at your home or at their home. In fact, that's probably where most rehearsing is going to happen if you don't have the location ready. But but have the actor leave with some kind of document that specifies what is required of them. Once you went through all your auditions and you make sure that you pick the folks you liked, I think it's important to pair people who are going to be working together. Sometimes there is a specific type of chemistry that people have when they're together. For better or for worse, some people get along really well and they have great chemistry, and some people don't get along well at all. And it's always better to have people who get along with each other and also have a spark if they're going to be in a love scene. Or if they are going to be in a scene where they hate each other, and if they hate each other in real life, maybe that's okay. But it's good to see them together. It also gives you a reference to what they're going to look on camera. Again, even though the camera is not great in those rooms, but it will at least give you an idea how they are together, and that's really important. I hope this video has been helpful. I know I didn't ask before, so please do the clicky thing and the likey thing. And I am Andre Correa, and this is Andre Correa Now, and I will see you next time.